Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you my updated no makeup look. This has been the makeup I do when I feel pressed for time, or if I'm feeling a little tired and lazy and I don't want to deal with a full face of makeup, or if I simply just want to enhance what I already got. So before we get into today's video, I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. So I go about this makeup look kind of differently, especially if I'm pressed for time or if I'm feeling a little bit lazy. I usually prioritize whatever step is most important to me, and I usually start with lips, and there's a few reasons why for that. But I'll be using my Romand Juicy Lasting Tint in the shade 23 Nucadamia. I typically go for lip stains that have a little bit of a pinky brown hue to them, so this one's a perfect option for me. I will line the perimeter of my lips with this as well as contour slightly, and I do this first before there's any primers or concealers on my face that would disrupt the staining abilities of this lip stain. And what's nice about the Romand Juicy Lasting Tints, they have a nice pointy doe foot. Makes it a little easier to line the lip. And I just use this on my natural lip line. I don't really overline at all, because I find that that can look weird. And then I take an eyeshadow brush and I just blend and feather the inside edge. And I take what the brush picked up right in the center here, just to make them look a little more plump. This is one of the more time-consuming parts of this makeup look, but I love doing it. It's so meticulous and fun for me. So it's gonna look weird for a while, but that's okay. So my skin is nice and prepped. I'll show you what I've been using as my morning skincare. So I always use the SOS spray from Tower 28. It's a nice facial spray and it's really awesome, especially if you are acne prone. Then I follow up using my Belif The True Cream Aqua Bomb, which is my favorite daily moisturizer, especially underneath of makeup. It's just nice and hydrating, but not too heavy. And then I go in with the Beauty of Joseon SPF, which is still my favorite SPF. And I still use my First Aid Beauty Niacinamide just a few times a week, but today was not one of those days. Next on my priority list is eyebrows. So I'm going to fill them in using my Melt Cosmetics Perfectionist Brow Pencil in the shade Brown. And I don't go crazy here. I mostly focus where I have a lot of sparseness, which lives in the tail of my brow over here. And then I go in with a nice clear brow gel. This one's from Rare Beauty, just to lift everything up, set them in place, and kind of enhance the hairs as well. I bet you're looking at this and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna take any of that girl's advice. She looks absolutely whack. But next is concealing. I'm going to be using two of my NYX Pro Fix sticks, one in the shade Pink and the other Vanilla. So I'm taking the pink shade and I'm going to put it a little bit in here because I have a lot of blue and purple tones happening there today. I stayed up till 3 accidentally last night, so I watched Beau is Afraid and I didn't really realize it was a 3-hour movie, but I was tuned in and then suddenly it was 3. So I guess I started at around midnight. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And my bags are paying for it today. And I'm using that pink color corrector just to offset those tones, and so I don't have to use as much of my concealing color. And I'm using the shade Vanilla once again. I'm just going to add a little right here, and then I'll use this to spot correct anything my eye catches now. Okay, and then I found this really fun brush in my collection this week. It's from Schumacher, but it gets the job done so fast. Just a few swipes and it's blended out, or if you want to like really concentrate it in one spot, you can kind of tap and it works. I don't know, I really like it. But it kind of looks like a horse grooming brush. I don't know. After concealer, then comes a little bit of powder, and I'm using my e.l.f. Prime and Stay on this brush. This is a BK Beauty 110, and I just press a little bit underneath of my eyes. And this is a nice powder because it is really nice and blurring, but it doesn't look too makeup-y. It looks really barely there on the skin. I'll just switch over to a bigger brush for the bigger areas on my forehead and my cheeks. And then for blush, which is very important to me, I have a few that I gravitate towards for this type of look. So one of my favorites is the Soft Pop Plumping Blush Veil from Makeup by Mario in the shade Barely Blushing, especially if I want more of like a nudie toned look. Really good. I'll give them a swatch too. So there's that one. It's very, very light, almost like a brownie peachy pinky kind of color. Or I'll use the Merit Cheek blushes. These ones look super sheer, but they add a nice tone to the skin. The Say blushes are great, especially in the shade Chili. Really nice in the winter time too. And then I have a few powder ones too, like the Essence Pure Nude Baked Blush in the shade Rosy Rosewood. Really awesome here, especially if you want more of like a glowy look. It has a nice pearl. And then the Rosewood blush from Dior is always a great option for any day. It doesn't swatch well, but on the cheek it's really nice and subtle, super subtle. And then the one I'll be using today is my current blush obsession, and it's the Makeup Forever Artist Blush in the shade B230 Wherever Rose. I'll apply it with my BK Beauty 107 today. And if you don't have like sheerer blushes, a good trick is to dip into your setting powder first with your brush, boop, and then go into the pan of your blush and then back in with your powder blush. That way it kind of makes it a lot sheerer and not so pigmented. It's a good little hack. And I kind of add this where I would get like a wind burn or just burnt from the sun. If I do end up tragically getting burnt from either wind or sun, it usually hits closer to my under eye and just down here. And with whatever's left on the brush, I kind of just brush it on my forehead too, just to carry that color so it looks like I'm just naturally pink. I don't know where I was going with that sentence, but didn't end up in a good place, did it? Okay, so now because I'm looking a little bit like a marshmallow, to put it nicely, I'm going to add a little kiss of bronze, and I mean a little, and I'm using this Kaleidos contour palette in the shade Light. I'll be using this tone right here. And I'm going to use this big old fluffy brush from BK Beauty. It's the 103, and it's a very like floofy brush, so it's not going to add a lot of definition, it's just going to add like a little bit of color. Like, I'm not going for a sculpted look with this, I just need a little something on my skin. If I am feeling a bit tired or lazy, by the time I start getting to the blush, I get excited about doing my makeup and then I end up with a full glam look. But we must stay focused, Julia. The task is no makeup makeup. The more haphazardly applied, the better. Glow is optional, but I'm going to opt in for it. I'm using my Auric Glow Lust in the shade Selenite. I'm just going to use a little tiny bit on the back of my hand here. I'm going to spread it out like so I don't pick up as much on my sponge here. And then I'm just going to hit my high points. I just let an intrusive thought win. I just stamped on my nose. Not a recommended technique. I just got curious. This is optional, but I think the beauty of a no makeup look is adding some beauty marks with freck. You can add some freckles if you'd like. I just might. But I always enhance my little beauty marks right there. I swear this one developed like last year and it's definitely like a sun damage mark, but I'm like, cute. Not cute. I just want really faint ones today. I'm not gonna go for it. Oops. And then I'm going to take a moment to really curl the crap out of my lashes. My favorite eyelash curler is this one. It's the Shiseido. This is my favorite no makeup step. brown mascara, specifically this one. It's from Romand. It's in the shade LO3 Long Hazel. It's the Hand All Fix Mascara, and it's very similar to the Clio in performance, but it comes in this really pretty brown shade. And they also have some other colors. If you want to match your mascara to your hair color, this is the best line. So this is the Long Hazel, and the shade I just swatched is the shade Long Ash. Really cool colors for mascaras. So I take the wand and I only highlight the tips of my lashes so they look like they're freshly tinted. And sometimes it can get a little clumpy. Just take any spoolie you've got and brush it through, or you can even go in with your finger like this and it will calm it down a little. I'm also just going to enhance the outermost lashes on my lower. You can achieve this with most brown mascaras, but this is my favorite because it's such a soft brown and this keeps the curl in my lashes like no other. That's my favorite no makeup look technique for sure. But now we're almost done. I just have to wipe off the layer of Juicy Lasting Tint here just to reveal the tint. And it's going to look a little intense at the beginning, but it fades off really nicely. And then I just top it off with whatever lip balm is closest to me. Today it so happened to be the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatment in Watermelon. I do not like this flavor at all, but it does wonders for my cracked ass lips. And I do enjoy the finish quite a lot actually. These, I would say, are kind of worth the hype, honestly. And here is the makeup look all complete. You can add or subtract anything you want from this look, customize it for yourself, but I just love no makeup because you can be really meticulous and it can be a little bit of a fun challenge to get it to look as natural as possible, and it's different than my go-to makeup techniques. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I'll have everything I used listed and linked in the description box down below, so feel free to check that out, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!
Thank you.